Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock here on Tuesday, December the 9th. I'm glad you could join us. I'm watching your comments on the 14 News Facebook page, so if you have anything to add or ask about, certainly put it on there, and we'll check that out in just a little bit. What we're tracking now, at least for the overnight hours, will be some rain moving in, scattered showers and clouds. And behind that, we have colder temperatures, which may lead to a chance of snow then Thursday night into early Friday, and then a much colder weekend with temperatures dropping all the way down into the teens. On the radar pic right now, it's clear here in the tri-state, but if we zoom out just a little bit, you can see some rain up here dropping across Illinois now, southern and central and northern Indiana. Those showers should be in here overnight and for the morning commute. So do plan on some rain first thing Wednesday morning. You'll need the umbrella out there. Most of those showers should finish out before noon. Then it gets much colder as winds shift around to the northwest, and it'll be kind of blustery out there. And then that chance of snow I was talking about arrives late Thursday night into Friday. And our model now has kind of trended it a little to the northeast. If you're in Gibson County, say Princeton, up to Patoka, Jasper, Petersburg, places like that, I think you'll have a better shot at maybe seeing some accumulating snow. On the rain side of things, really a piddly event here, maybe a tenth or a little bit less than that in all locations. And on the snow side of things, we were showing around a half an inch or less along and south of the Ohio River, and maybe a little more significant accumulation north, again somewhere in that 1 inch category. Now keep in mind, this is Friday's forecast, and today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so we're still 3 days out. That's a little earlier than I'm comfortable with really being confident on snowfall numbers. We have the numbers here. I'm showing these to you, but I'm saying they will likely change. But anyhow, it is something to keep an eye on as we get into Thursday and Friday. So I don't think this is a milk and bread emergency is what I'm saying. 43 is the temperature out there now, with 22 as our low this morning, and we got up to 47 this afternoon. I think for the most part, our temperatures across the board were much warmer than yesterday. I think we'd all agree on that one. We were 19 degrees warmer, and right on the average for the high this afternoon. You'll see a 0 come up there, meaning we were at the normal. A little cooler than average this morning when we dropped down to 22. The December calendar still on the cool side, as you'd expect. It is December after all, but today was the warmest day that we've had so far this month, and still no rain there to show. This will be the 8th wettest year on record at Evansville, even if we don't get another drop of rain now until the end of the year. And that's unlikely. We'll have some showers out there. Again, your commute will be wet for the most part, or scattered showers out there. The bigger pic now shows these clouds starting to droop down and bring the rain in from the northwest. That's connected to a storm system. Storm might be overstating it, but a low pressure system that'll be coming through, generating rain first and then snow behind the front. A follow-up clipper system will be responsible for any snow that we get Thursday night and Friday. And remember, clippers usually are challenged at producing a lot of snow because they don't have a lot of moisture to work with, and they're fast moving. So if you get an inch of snow out of a clipper, that's kind of on the high end for that type of a system. Coldest days yet to come this weekend. We drop into the teens, and with the wind chill, that'll feel like single digits out there. The GFS and the European are going to tell about the same story today, with the snow chance Thursday night, Friday, the second system missing us to the north, and then maybe some rain toward the middle of next week. In fact, it's kind of interesting. The European was kind of the odd man out the other day. Now it's got us in the rain in the morning, as the other models do, and then it brings the clipper down as well Thursday night into early Friday. Still generally that northeastern corner of the tri-state would be at the best shot at getting some accumulating snow, and then the midweek rain next week. So what do you know? Sometimes those models agree. I'm sure it's just for today, and then they'll split again. But anyhow, that gives us more confidence that we have at least a fighting chance for snow Thursday night, excuse me, and that we will see some rain coming into the commute tomorrow. 46 degrees for the high tomorrow early, and then that temperature will fall off after the cold front comes through, and then we have colder temperatures heading in for the weekend. Although, if you average it out, excuse me, the longer range here through the 23rd, showing a return to slightly warmer than normal temps and still kind of dry, or drier than the average. Doesn't mean we won't have any rain, it just means it'll be a little drier. All right, I was griping the other night that we ran out of pet pics, and there were a bunch of pet pics submitted, so I want to thank everybody for that. We have Paisley and Chrome Berry right down there, and this came, oh shoot, I just had his name on the tip of my tongue, from Hobstadt. I can't remember it. Anyway, we appreciate the picture there. Maybe he's watching here tonight and he'll chime in. I'm having an absolute brain freeze right now, so we'll try to get that for you in a minute. I like to give credit where credit's due, but I figured you'd rather see the dogs' names up there and cat names than who submitted it. Let me see here. I'll recognize the name if I see it, and then we can give credit where credit's due, and if not, thank you. Okay, I don't see it on there. Anyway, quick science corner tonight. Tomorrow will be the anniversary of the Western Kentucky tornado. We call it the December 10th tornado, 2021. A couple of standout things. The radar signature on that night was it was the strongest one I've ever seen, at least since we've had the ability to see these things with dual polarization radar. And it's no surprise, of course, when you see something like this on the radar, gigantic couplet there coming across, your heart sinks because you know that's going to be a destructive tornado. Indeed it was. The night of December the 10th, we actually had two tornadoes. So the second one kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Of course, the main event was the long-tracked EF4, which had 190 mile per hour peak winds. And unfortunately, there were 57 fatalities along that path, about 24 of them here in the tri-state. There was also a short-lived EF1 tornado near Greenville in Muhlenberg County, but the one in Bremen, of course, completely off the charts as far as destructiveness was concerned. Another way to look at this, on December the 10th, there were many cities and towns that were affected, impacted, destroyed. In the case of Mayfield, much of it, the downtown there were 22 fatalities in Mayfield alone. Hundreds were injured. And then I already mentioned Dawson Springs, or maybe I didn't, but Dawson Springs was our first point of contact with the tornado. Winds there estimated at 190. Debris was lofted about 30,000 feet in the air. And of course, we can't overlook the human toll and tragedy there with, I believe, 14 deaths, and about 60% of Dawson was destroyed. Much of it has been rebuilt. If you haven't been there recently, it is an inspiring story there. While there's still signs where the tornado came through, a lot has been rebuilt, and it's looking pretty good. And then Bremen in northern Muhlenberg County, we had 11 fatalities, unfortunately, there, and still high-end EF4 winds. December tornadoes are extremely rare. Of course, we've had them. Obviously, we had them. But if you look back to 1952 coming forward, that's how far back our tornado database goes, there have only been 12 December tornadoes. And prior to that time, most of them were on the lower end of the strength here. EF2 are weaker. So to have an EF3 and EF4 come through was quite astonishing, really, for all of us, even though there was an outlook for severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center had been out several days in advance with risk zones here for the tri-state. And model data several days out was hinting at the potential for an outbreak, but nobody really would have guessed that it would be one long track, super long track tornado. Typically when I hear outbreak, I'm thinking several. And so this one was completely different. from anything that anyone was expecting that night. It was well warned for by the Weather Service at Paducah. As long as they could, they lost power or communications, and other offices picked up the slack. But Paducah did an outstanding job in forewarning and then warning the storm, forewarning several days out, and then warning about it when it was happening. And very difficult. Many of the employees at the National Weather Service lived in the path or near the path of that tornado. So anyhow, that's just a look back. Tomorrow on the midday program, or actually tomorrow the podcast, the Inside Look podcast, will be Shaylee Clark. Velez now, her married name. Shaylee was working here at the station as a morning anchor and headed down to the damage immediately afterward and reported all day through that weekend. And she's going to recount some of her stories there as well. So I hope you'll get to take a look at that on Inside Look. I'll see you on 14 News at 10. Thanks so much for joining, and have a good night.